Welcome, friends, to Dog Grooming Unleashed. We are Amy Leigh and Michelle Caluneo. Our mission is to create a safe, welcoming space for dog groomers and pet lovers to come together to learn, laugh, and feel supported. So join us as we build a community where pet parents and groomers can come together. We also want to help groomers grow in their skills, share their struggles, and feel connected to others in the industry. So get ready to learn and laugh. We're so excited to have you here.
Hey, Amy.
Hi, honey. Fancy meeting you here.
I know you. All right, welcome to season 2, episode 4.
Sorry, I coughed.
Oh, stop coughing.
Do it again.
Hit it. All right, welcome to episode 2, season 4. Today we're going to talk about what not to
Wait,
say.
stop. Episode 2, season 4. Oh, that's making the bloopers.
No.
Okay, ready?
Oh, hold on, I got excited. Ready?
You ready?
Welcome to season 2, episode 4. Today we're going to talk about what not to say to your dog groomer.
Oh, we hear it all.
We sure do. There's all kinds of things you say to us, and it's weird. Some of it's weird.
It can be weird.
Sometimes you make us a little uncomfortable. But we still love you.
We do. What are we going to be talking about in this episode?
I think we're going to just, discuss some things that folks say to us, some of the odd things.
I guess what we're going to be talking about is good communication between...
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, the pet parent and the groomer that actually sets the grooming session up the right way out of the gate. And communication is key because if we're not communicating properly, your poodle could end up looking like a schnauzer when you pick it up. I mean, no.
They would still be adorable.
Yeah. But it's not just that. Sometimes they say to us that make us just want to scream. As soon as they shut the door, we look at the dog and we go, I'm so sorry. You got to listen to this every day. Really? All right.
We're just going to lock the door and not call you. We're keeping the dog.
I love you people. I love you all so dearly, but think before you speak.
Yeah. So what's the number one rub you the wrong way?
I don't know if I can say there's just one number one. There's so many. One thing that I experienced quite a bit and have over the years, a lot, and I know you're probably going to relate to this. When a client brings their dog in, half the time they're carrying the dog. So they're already coddling the dog.
Yeah.
Right? When a dog is being coddled, don't worry. And we're walking up to the grooming salon. The dog knows where he is. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And we come in and hi, how are you? How's Fluffy? That's our greeting. And the next thing we hear is, he's shaking. He's so scared.
Oh, the shaking. Always. I'm like, they shake. It's okay.
But you're coddling him.
Yeah.
You didn't tell him to be confident right now. You told him to be afraid.
I love when they're concerned. They're like, and I'm like, it's fine.
What did you do to them last time?
I'm like, it's a little adrenaline. I always tell them, as soon as you leave, then they'll pay attention to me and then we can bond, I go, but I'll joke, as soon as you leave, I go, they take a bow. They're like, thank you very much. Like for their award-winning Oscar performance.
That off. Did you see what I did, Michelle? Did you see what I'm going to get? Ice cream on the way home for that one.
Yeah, seriously. I'm like, oh, you little actress, you.
I know. High five, and you're pretty good though. And you're right. The reason why they come in like that, this is the answer to this is to put it into perspective for groomers and pet owners. Groomers already know. But the reason they come in like that is because, you're not leading them with confidence into the grooming salon. You want to lead them with confidence. Come on, honey. When you take your pee on the way in, good.
Yes.
Let's go see Michelle. Are you ready? Yeah, Mom, I'm ready. That sounds, the tone of your voice, everything sounds like this is going to be okay.
Yeah, I love when they come in so excited. And sometimes they just don't, and it's okay. But that's obviously, we love that when they come in really excited.
It feels good. It makes us feel good.
Yeah.
But what's some of the things on your list? Because we don't.
How about can you get the nails as short as possible?
That's on mine too.
I'm always like, so if you're a pet parent, I promise you, we always get the nails as short as possible. There's a lot of reasons why sometimes we can't. Sometimes they're just not behaving, right? We're just doing the best we can. And if your dog's kind of freaking out, we're going to try to go through the motion of clipping the nails. But, sometimes we're just going to take a little bit off the end. We're trying to get them used to this whole process. Maybe they don't come to grooming as much as they should, or they just don't like nail trims, right? Some dogs just don't like it.
Some dogs just never will like it.
Yeah. But we're always trying to get them as short as possible. I love dremeling nails. It's like I just love doing it. It makes me happy. So I want to get them real smooth and round. And so especially for like my senior owners, because I know that they have thinner skin, and so the dogs are going to jump on them, especially those little ones. You know, they kind of jump a little bit more, or they hold them. So I always really try to make sure I do that. So it's like a joke with groomers, you know, when people say, "Can you get the nails as short as possible?" Because we are, you know. So saying that is almost like,
it's
I don't know. Yeah,
it's senseless. Oftentimes I get reminded, don't forget to trim the nails.
Yes.
As a
groomer, I almost forgot. Well, thank you.
As a groomer, that's one of the things that I know is a very important reason why your dog is here. It's very important for the dog.
Yes.
Secondly, you know, groomers, we follow a certain set of standard operating procedures, and one of those is trimming the nails. I always trim the nails right after they exit the bath and they're toweled off and they're on the table.
Yeah.
Reason being, the nails are less brittle at that time. If you're dremeling, you may want to do that before they get into the bath because you want that brittle nail. So we have a procedure that we follow. Just like if we're a hairdresser and we're giving a perm, we don't put the neutralizer on before we put the perm setting solution
right
on. We have procedures. We know. Thank you for reminding me how to do my job.
But I'm always like, yes, I will cut their nails. You know?
Yeah. Oh, I'll cut them this time. Yeah.
So, but it's, I mean, and you know what? Have I forgot to cut a dog's nails before? I'm sure at some point in all this time. You know what I mean? So I think that, you know, if you've had
maybe like a grooming session that was going bad.
Yeah.
That's where you're just praying to get through it for you and the dog. Typically, our dogs are pretty compliant.
But I always feel like that's something that comes from the owners. Make sure you get the nails as short as possible. And it's like, okay.
That must be across the board, girl.
I think it is. And that's why it always makes me laugh, you know? So I'm like, okay. So how about, do you do the anal thing?
Well,
do you do anal? I'm like, what?
And why do you, okay, I'm going to let you answer this. Why do you feel it's important to educate them on, well, let's talk about those anal glands and if I should even be messing around with them?
Yeah, I don't think you and I'd written a note one time to ask you, like, what is your take on that? But I don't think you and I have ever really talked about anal glands and kind of how we feel about that. So we probably could do a whole episode on that. For me, we talk about like, well, what are they doing? Are you smelling something fishy? Or, you know, so then I'll clarify the anal thing that they're referring to, make sure it's not creepy. Right. So like,
right.
I'm like, well, why do you think that they're full? Are they excessively licking? Are they scooting around? Or are you noticing an odor? Did they get scared and express their anal glands? Well, that's not really uncommon. That doesn't necessarily mean that they need assistance. That just means that they got scared and expressed their anal glands, you know, but they should naturally express them on their own, things like that. So
you just said it. They should naturally express them. And what if they are not? Then what do we suggest?
So for me, like whenever I give them a bath, and if I can feel them like ready to explode, and I know that if I get them on my table and I'm going to start blow drying that back end and they're going to express them, I'm going to help them in the tub without a doubt, because I know that they're going to express them as soon as I get them on the table, because they're going to get excited from the blow dryer. So if they're really full like that, I have no problem. And if they have an ongoing issue, I'll always refer to the vet. Like I stay in my lane all day long. So I'm like referring to the vet for anything that's not in my lane. And so I'll say, well, you're going to get them internally expressed at the vet, and that might be a little bit better for them. I mean, my vet will internally express River, and he would for Nellie too, because they were really deep in there. They would get really full. It wasn't easy for me to express them. And I just, so if it's not just more than
if you're externally expressing the anal glands, or if you're going internal, and us groomers don't go internal for anything.
Right.
And the important thing to remember is that your dog should be expressing their anal glands naturally when they have a BM. And if that's not happening, referring them over to speak with their vet about it in detail is important, because the vet can talk to them about the possibility of a food choice or possible supplement to the food that may change their stool enough that they will naturally start expressing their anal glands on their own. And if they can't express their anal glands on their own, then oftentimes, you know, it goes deeper into the medical side, not the grooming side.
Yes.
So
yeah.
That's the butt stuff. That's the butt stuff. And that's all.
Do you do the butt stuff?
We're not going to talk about any more butt stuff.
Always like, oh, you said it like that, didn't you? Okay.
Disgusting. One of my other things, Michelle, and I'm anxious to hear how you feel about this, is some people when they bring their dog in, they often will just say, "Okay, just a trim," and I'm like, "Well, I always do a trim.
Yeah.
What's just a trim?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Like just this much or
Yeah.
this much? Let's be specific. And just a trim. I don't really want much off. Just a trim. And is the price going to be cheaper? I'm doing the same work.
Yeah.
I may be taking only that much, but you asked me to. I'm still doing the same work, and that's
You're
what the
still doing
dog
a
will
full
get.
body cut.
Yeah, I'm still doing everything that I would do if I'm
Yeah.
taking this much hair or if I'm taking this much hair off. And so the price is the same, but
Yeah.
do you think if you just say just a trim that it is going to be different? Because Michelle, what is included in a full groom? Let's lay it out there for everybody.
And I think we should clarify there's an express groom that some groomers do and like a mini groom. And that's when, say, you take your poodle or your doodle in, right? And you today we're just gonna do a tidy express groom, mini groom, and that's gonna be when we're gonna do bath and blow dry. They're not gonna get a full body cut, but they're still gonna get the pads of their feet shaved, they're gonna get a nail trim, they're gonna get their ears cleaned, and maybe sometimes we'll trim around the eyes a little bit, clean up
And
the
a
mouth
sanitary trim
in a sanitary. And
around
so
it.
that's like your express. So they're still getting all those things in the bath, but they're not getting a full body cut.
Yeah.
But when your dog, yeah, from the beginning of when they come into the grooming salon and we have to greet them, we're going to examine, like we're going to check out their whole body. We're going to look for anything weird. We're going to look for mats, see what coat condition, like what condition is their coat in, right? So that's the first couple minutes of when they come into our
That's
shop.
assessing the groom.
Yes.
So we can put our plan in our head before it's
Yes.
go time. Yeah.
Sometimes we have to do a pre-shave. And so we're going to get the dog right on the table and take some of this fur off because we know we're going to take about an inch off today. And we don't want to get him in the bath, wash all that, blow dry all that. So let's do a pre-cut. So that takes a little bit of time. And then, well, bathing. I mean, we take bathing very seriously. And so sometimes we double shampoo the dog and then we're going to do a conditioning treatment. And then we're really going to make sure that we work it in. A lot of times we're brushing them in the bath with the conditioner. We want to work all that in. We want to make sure their skin's really well taken care of, and so all this stuff takes a really long time. So that's why when
It
you
does,
ask,
and we only have so much time on the schedule, so you have to. That's why that assessment is so important because it's making
Mhm.
your game plan in your head so that when you get going, you're rolling.
Yeah,
You know exactly what you're doing. Okay, my rule of thumb, like you just said, I'm taking about an inch off. If I'm taking an inch or more of coat off the dog, I will pre-trim. I will
yeah.
because I realize that is going an inch of coat extra is going to add another 30
I was gonna
minutes
say 30 minutes. Yeah,
at least to
yeah.
the grooming session.
I'd rather
So I
take
need to
10
get that
minutes and
off.
cut it off. Yeah,
Yeah, because the bath and the blow dry and the brushing, it's going to add 30 minutes to that. So, we've got groomers are so good about assessing all that so that they know exactly what they're going to do. And during that assessment, if the customer's like, yeah, I just want you to take about an inch off, the dog has 4 inches of coat, but the coat's matted, that's only going to be a job for a 7 blade or a 5 blade. So no, we're
Mhm.
not leaving an inch of
Yeah,
coat. We're leaving a quarter of an inch of coat or less
yeah,
because we had to. That's all part of the assessment. And that's why I take the time when the dog comes in when we're doing our meet and greet. I always take the time to talk with the client, but I'm petting the dog and
we're
assessing.
assessing them. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that I can speak directly to the client in the moment and prepare them for this is what we're going to have to do today.
yeah,
If they say, oh, no, I don't want her shaved. And I can say, I don't have an option here.
yeah,
She's scheduled for 2 hours. It's a doodle, 2.5 hours. This is what I can do in 2.5 hours with what you're bringing me.
yeah. Yeah. And then there's blow drying, which takes sometimes it takes an hour to blow dry a dog. So then you blow dry the dog for an hour and then you do all that. Now we're an hour and a half in and we haven't even started the haircut yet. Now your haircut's going to take another hour, right? And all the steps of, so this is when folks will say, oh, like an hour, it's going to take like an hour. Or why does it take so long? They've been here so long. Why does it cost so much? This is why, and it's just all these steps that we do when they're there for grooming, So then, now we're going to give them a haircut. We're going to shave the pads of their feet, clean up, sometimes like I'll be like, okay, now I'm just going to work on your head. But then sometimes the dogs don't like it. So they're not really cooperating. So you got to be like, all right, we're going to, we're going to be like, all right, let me get off your head. I'm going to go work on your legs now.
Yeah. And I think that it would be great for groomers to just have a nice little kind of a cheat sheet and it's something that maybe is hanging up in the entrance of their salon or at the desk where check in and check out occurs that is very bulleted and very blunt of each step of the groom. So at a quick glance, clients can see this is what you're getting. This is what a full groom is, and this is what you're paying for, and this is what I'm giving you. So the question of do you trim the nails? Well, it's step 4.
Yeah.
It's there.
And do you list that when you like when people ask me what's included in the price, I list all that. Mm-hmm. And I take photos. I do a photo shoot too. So that's when we say like at the end, like after I do all this, then I do a 10-minute photo shoot. Not everybody does that. I just do that because I like to do that. So, but I'll list what you're getting for this price. So if the price is $110, this is what's included. And I put, I used high quality products, like, you know what I mean? So you really have to, as a groomer too, you really have to make sure that you're letting everybody know really what you're doing and why it takes so long and why it costs so much. Cause this is everything that I'm doing. And, if you're charging $25 for someone to do a nail trim, you can't charge $75 for a golden retriever to come in and get a bath.
Right.
That's what I mean?
No, you can't. That math doesn't add up. It doesn't
break
down properly. It's not mathing. Yeah. And I think that these little cheat sheets or, whatever it is available immediately for a client, it's going to cut down on a lot of their confusion right away about what are we going to do here today? Well, this is always included in every groom, even if it's just a bath touch-up, that intermediate groom between full grooms, whatever. This is always going to happen. If it's a full groom, obviously, all these things are included, and these things are included as well. So that it just helps with the confusion. But, I think when people ask questions, when pet parents ask questions, sometimes I think it comes from a conversation they may have had with somebody else that just put confusion in their minds.
Yeah.
Like, that may not even be a true assessment of how grooming really is. So I think, still being kind to everybody and just understand that, even a new pet owner may still be learning about the whole process and what it means for their dog and why it's important for their dog. So, being able to educate them and always telling the client that, I am skilled in the area of doing what is best for your dog's skin and coat. And I assess that. And if that means, there's matting or, if you're asking me to go too short, I know what too short is. Too short's another thing on my list. Go short, but not too short.
Not too short.
That's not descriptive. And it leaves the groomer confused. So
we just guess. And sometimes, usually you're happy, right?
Yeah. I mean, but
you hope so.
Know what too short is. And for me on the body and the legs, it will never be shorter than a 7-blade and a shift. 7 blades pretty short.
Yes.
So I would never go shorter than that because it's just not safe for the dog's hair follicles. It's not safe for the skin, unless obviously you have a poodle and a continental trim and their skin is conditioned to being shaved like that. So there's that. But we're pet groomers. We're not doing poodles and continental trims.
Yes. And it's funny too, because I think that there is just the funny things people say to us like this, and just like, oh, make sure you get them short enough. So we're just being nice or we're being funny and just telling you what not to say, whatever. But I think that then there's also the red flag stuff. So the red flag, so when you call, so these are things not to say when you go to your groomers and we're that make us cringe a little bit. And then us just trying to explain to you why it takes so long and things like that. And then I swear we trim their nails. But then there's the red flag. So if you're a pet parent now and you're here, listen to this, because these are things you definitely don't want to say to your groomer. So if you walk in and you're holding it like all curled up in a blanket and you're like, my dog is literally my child, that is a huge red flag. Like we automatically don't want to groom your dog. We think you're a little strange.
Realize the dog has no confidence because it's not allowed to have any. It's supposed to be my baby that I coddle, and he's not.
It's not good for dogs. Yes.
Dogs need their confidence.
Yes.
To live their lives, not just grooming. So do things that builds your dog's confidence. Like, if you're playing fetch with the dog, you don't want the dog to go get the ball and sit over there and chew on it. You want him to bring it back so you can continue to play with him.
So then they'll be like, this is my first dog. I'm like, no kidding.
Yeah, right. Thank gosh that there's a lot of videos out there to help people with training and desensitizing and not just with grooming, but
like put that dog on the floor. He's going to poop. It's fine. Just put him down. It's fine.
Just let it out. Let's let it out. I got my paper towels and Clorox wipes ready. Let's go. Let that poop out so we can move on. I think that when groomers are questioned a lot too.
I was going to say that overly questioned or weird instructions,
weird things. And I think it just automatically devalues the groomer's confidence in the moment. We need all of our confidence on that grooming table with your dog. It's a big job. So don't, it kind of sets us down a notch. Why are they questioning me? They don't trust me. They don't believe that I'm trained and skilled and experienced. And, another thing that they may say often that just is is the last time he came home, he was so tired. Do you drug him? Oh yeah. I can just go to the vet and say, hey, I'm a groomer. Give me some drugs. So I'd
be terrified to drug anyone. I would never. I would be so scared.
I'm nervous sometimes to administer the pills that they get from the vet. And they say, here, you give it to him. He won't.
I get a little nervous when they're too medicated. Like they come in and they're like, they can hardly stand. And then I'm like, okay, let's cut back a little bit. Like next time, let's do a little bit less.
Yeah,
but I do, I've had that before, but for not usually. Usually I feel like it's the other way where like they gave them the medication and it clearly isn't working.
The adrenaline kicks in and the dog doesn't matter anyway. But my gosh, and I've heard that many times over the years from clients that say, he was so tired. Do you drug him? I'm like, first of all, how do you even think I would get drugs?
Yeah, no.
I mean, where am I going to walk into the vet and say, hey, I'm a groomer. Can you just prescribe me some stuff so I can randomly give it to dogs? Some of those dogs might be 16 years old. Some of those dogs might be a 8-week-old puppy. No vet is going to give me any pill. I'm not a vet. I can't write my own prescriptions. Where do you think I'm getting these drugs? So that's the first thing.
I'm such a smart aleck too. I'd be like, no, the drugs are just for me. I don't share them with the dogs. Like, you know what I mean? So like, no, other drugs, no.
We don't even have access to this. And secondly, why is the dog so tired afterwards? Because the last 2.5 hours, he took no naps. He was working the whole time with me, standing, listening, watching me. How often does your dog stand in your house for 2.5 hours and listen and watch everything you do without needing at least a 10-15 minute nap? They don't get naps at the grooming.
I love when they send me pictures of them sleeping at home and they'll be like, he's worn out, like in a cute way though.
I love that about with grooming my dogs when they're done.
Yeah, I know when they sleep.
I know they're going to be relaxed for a while and maybe I can go get my shower or whatever and not have to worry about them needing to go out and chase a Frisbee.
Yep. River comes to work with me every day and because he's, I don't leave him out at the shop. He goes in the crate. He's so happy to get that car ride in the morning. We walk and then he gets a car ride. By the time he gets to my shop, he is conked out all day long. He'll wake up and look when people get there. Sometimes he doesn't even care. He's so happy. And then, like around 1, I take him out to go potty and he just runs, we walk around, we pees on everything. Life is good. And then he goes right back in that crate. I could work till 6 o'clock. He'll start moving around 6 because he knows it's dinner time.
That's right. They do know. They do know when it's last call, when the last dog's there and you're actually cleaning up your shop. That's it. That's it. She's done. Gus has always gone to work with me since he was 8 weeks old and he's almost 9 now. So
my biggest pet peeve if you want to wrap it up, like this is one of my, with your biggest pet peeve too. Mine is when people would ask for multi-dog discounts.
Yeah.
So that was always like a hard no for me. But just because you have 4 mini schnauzers doesn't mean that I should charge less. That's so much work, and it's not any less work. But that was a question I got a ton when I first started. With people would call with 3, 4 dogs, and then they'd be like, "Well, it's just so expensive." And I'm like, "Well, nobody made you get 4 dogs." Like,
that's right.
I mean,
expensive. Hey, we did an episode about that.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Yes,
that was, I think, our first one of the season, whatever. But you're right, and they do ask for that, and I think that some people just in their minds, they're always looking for some kind of deal. So if you don't trim his nails today, you're going to take $20 off. No, absolutely not. I don't know.
I don't charge you when they're extra long.
Yeah, when we have to trim them, like 3 little snaps per nail because we got to take little bits at a time, whatever. But
or the quicks are really long. I forgot to say that. That was like another thing why the nails won't be as short, because the quicks are really long and you can only go so short. So that was the other thing I forgot to say that.
And it's good that you mentioned it. And your groomers know how to judge when we're getting close to the quick, what that looks like. And then we know we can't go any further. And how does the quick grow out like that? If you're asking that question, followers in your mind, is if a dog's nails, especially when they're younger, they're not trimmed. Say you don't take your dog to the groomer for 6, 7 months for the first time, which is a bad thing to do. They should be in at about 12 weeks old. But for a first little get to know you groom, if you don't, you wait till 6, 7 months, that quick has been growing out. It's not been trained. We haven't been able to work with it. The best time to start training the quick is when they're puppies, and keep that 4 to 5 week nail trim going. And it's a good way to train the quick from being too long. And then the groomer can only go too short with a nail. And
if a groomer does quick your dog's nail, it's no big deal. It's not usually it's no big deal. You just put a little bit of quick stop. I just saw something on I think it was Pro Groomer Network, where someone posted that they quicked a nail. They told the owner picked up the dog and then took the dog to the vet, and it was like hundreds of dollars, and they wanted the groomer to pay for it. And I'm like,
because they're like, I just wanted to know that it was okay.
I'm like, what a disaster!
Like to cut it back to the knuckle. I mean, if a groomer is quicking a dog's nails, there is a point where it does actually hurt very bad if they go way too short. If a groomer's doing that, then they need to rethink their nail trimming skills.
Exactly. But I mean, and even if it's a little quick, it's no big deal. So don't worry.
Happens.
So if you go pick up your dog and your groomer does let you know that I did quick one of his nails, it's no big deal. They just put a little quick stop on it. I like to use like little sterile saline. I have little sterile saline packages. And so I just wipe it with that, and then I'll do a little quick stop. And so it's nice and clean and sterile. And then you just throw the quick stop on there. It's no big. Not that I never quick dogs' nails. Anyway, it happens to the best of us.
My own dog's nails, I quick. It isn't like, oh, I don't care when I'm grooming other people's dogs.
Exactly.
I've quicked my own dog's nails, but not a lot.
Yeah. And I feel like if I quick one in a day, I always quick another dog. And I'm like, I haven't quicked a nail in 6 months.
I know.
And then I just quicked 2 dogs in one day. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So,
but you'll be trimming the last leg, and you'll notice that first leg you trimmed. Now you're seeing a little spot of blood. It takes long to, it's that's just a barely quicking the nail, and that's normal. It happens. But if you cut it and you got that's way short.
Yes.
That's different than I just quick the nail a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I know, and I just got red nails for Christmas, and so it's already was a week of.
Every time you're like, is that blood? Or nope, it's my nail.
It's my nail. I'm like, why do I do this to myself every December? They look so pretty, though. I just can't help.
It does, and it helps you get into the spirit. Even at work, you're like working, and you're like, yeah, but my nails are pretty and red. I feel pretty today.
Speaking of Christmas, we're going to be having a Christmas special episode. So stay tuned. And we're also going to do a New Year's one. It's going to be amazing. So make sure you chime in for that. And we'll be posting on our stories and posting shorts and things like that. So we'll make sure it's hard for you to miss.
A couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's going to be so good.
We have another episode coming up for you next week, guys. It's going to be a good one, too. That one is about how dog groomers need to read the body language of dogs and what your dog is really saying through its body language with the groomer. So the groomers can really pick up on their dog's body language. But this goes deep for pet owners, too.
Yes.
You know, what their body language is saying. And we need your help at home to build the dog's confidence and help desensitizing, things that are going to follow into the grooming salon for your dog. So that's going to be a great episode. I can't wait to do that one too.
So stay tuned.
Yes. And we will see you in
next time
episode.
It's going to be so good. Thanks for joining.
That wraps up today's episode of Dog Grooming Unleashed. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. We are truly grateful to have you as part of our Unleashed community. Don't forget, we drop new episodes every Monday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So grab your coffee or your clippers and hang out with us again, my friend, next week. If today's conversation made you laugh, taught you something new, or just made you feel seen as a groomer or a pet enthusiast, please take a second to like, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend. And we'd love to hear from you. Drop your thoughts, questions, or even your funniest grooming moments in the comments. We might just feature your story or question in the next episode. And we can't wait to keep learning, laughing, and growing right alongside of you. Stay kind, stay curious, and keep grooming from your heart.